Buon Pomeriggio, beautiful people. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to walk you through my super intense leg workout, especially targeting the glutes and doing loads of heavy hip thrusts. It has been one of the most intense sessions I've ever had after quarantine, so it has been, yeah, very tough, but as well so satisfying and so effective. Especially at the end of the session, I really felt like I worked all the muscles all the way through, so I was so happy about it that I wanted to share it with you. So yeah, I hope that my tips and sort of my insights of why I picked each exercise and why I'm doing things in a certain way will really help you not only maybe do this routine, but as well designing your own workouts and modifying your own routines. So yeah, I really hope you like it. If you do, then please don't forget to give it a like, because it just tells me what you like to see. And as well, if you haven't already, then please don't forget to subscribe to my little tiny channel. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the workout. So the first thing, as always, is to warm up and do some glute activation. Now, I already did a video about glute activation, the science behind it, why do we do it, what is important, what exercises, and all of that. So I don't want to repeat myself. I'll make sure to leave the video in the description box below. But the main idea here is to elevate the quality of the workout that you're doing afterwards. So there is no magic about glute activation per se, but instead it's all about making your session, making your time as effective as possible. So here I do a variation of banded squats, some kickbacks, and then I make sure as well to do some stretching, some dynamic stretching and things like that. And again, this is all about making sure that I can feel my muscle working, that I can have that mind-muscle connection. I can actually physically feel my muscle, so then when I do an exercise, I can squeeze where I need, I can engage the muscle as I want to, as opposed to just going through the motion and not really engaging as I should all the appropriate muscles. So as well, even though this is not a squat focused session, I like to do some barbell squats and some very light weight in the bar squat, just because it's a very good compound movement that really warms up all my glutes, my legs and my core, and as well it's great for having great hip flexibility and overall preparing my body for what's about to happen. So in terms of my actual workout, I like to do the main movement, the main reason why I'm at the gym that day first, because I use the most weight or I do the most reps, and I just want to ensure that my form is on point and that I'm not too tired because I did it later on in the session. So here is some very heavy dead stop hip thrusts. Now, as well as always, I will sort of pyramid up, so ensure that I do slightly of a lighter weight first and a little bit more reps, again to make sure that my body goes through the motions and know exactly what to engage, what to use, and my form. So as you will see, I always make sure that the bench is right at my shoulder blades when I'm sat down on the floor, which means that whenever I hip thrust up, my knees are at the same level, if not slightly higher than my shoulder. And this really helps me when I hip thrust heavy, so over 100-150 kilos, because it gives me this sort of shelf with my upper body that makes it so that I don't strain my lower back or I don't do any movement without engaging my glutes. As well, as you can see, I always look forward, I tuck my chin in, and whenever I hip thrust up, I really engage, squeeze my core, and make sure that all the movement is driven by the contraction of my glutes as opposed to my back just going up. So after starting with some lighter hip thrusts and doing a little bit more of reps, I will go ahead and put my main weight, which in this case is 100, but you know, you do whatever you feel comfortable. Then I will lower the number of reps, so here I'm doing only 6 reps for 4 sets. And now the reason why I'm doing dead stop hip thrust is because on the way down I sort of reset my position. I take a minute, I adjust if I need to, I ensure that everything is on check, and then I go ahead and contract my glutes on the way up and just ensure to stay at least 1 second on the top position to again just ensure that all the muscles are contracted properly and that overall my glutes are right on point. So by resetting every time to the lower position, it just intensifies the overall hip thrust movement. because you're not mid-air, you don't sort of compensate with other muscles, your back or your knees or your hamstring, whatever it is. So it's very intense, especially when you do super heavy weight. It can be quite tough, but it's very important that the form is always on point, just to of course prevent injuries, but as well have that perfect form that will only allow you to go even more in weight and progress even quicker. Now, usually on my leg days, after I do my main exercise or my main movement, I like to do a superset, which is a great way to, you know, make more use of your time and as well increase the intensity of the workout, especially if you use very similar muscles that are next to each other, one after the other. Is something that really intensifies your session. So here I decided to do some squats. Now again, this is not the main movement of today. I'm not going heavy on my squats. I'm not doing it as the main aim of the session, but it's a great compound movement nevertheless, that if you modify in a certain way, you can really work different muscles. So here I decided to go slightly light, not to do many reps, because again, I don't want to exhaust myself. I just want to work the muscle and obviously reserve some energy for the next exercise that's going to be done right after this. So I just do 6 squats with a slight pause at the bottom, which really engages my glutes. And as well, when I go all the way up, I don't squeeze, I don't overarch my back. I just ensure that the muscle is contracted all the way and that it's all engaged throughout the 6 reps, and this maximizes the efficiency of the exercise. So yeah, I do just 6 reps with a little pause at the bottom, not go all the way up at the top, just to keep my glutes engaged, and then repeat that for 6 reps. Straight after that, it's dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. Here I do a lot of reps because again, this is not my deadlift day, so I don't necessarily want to focus on the movement in terms of weight, but I do want to focus on engaging my hamstrings and my glutes. So I'm rather doing a medium to high weight but with really high reps, so I will do 15 reps, and then by keeping my lats engaged, my back straight, I will go ahead and do a Romanian deadlift where, if you can see, my knees don't move too much, my glutes or my sort of hips go backwards, and I maintain my back sort of like parallel to the ground. And then on the way up, I only go up by contracting my glutes. I don't go up because I push my shoulders up or I push my upper back up. I just do it because I'm driving my hips forward, so that naturally makes my upper body go up. And I make sure to do that for 15 reps. Then I take a breather, I take a rest of 1 to 2 minutes, and then again I will do 6 squats with a pause at the bottom, and then straight away I will do 15 reps on the dumbbell Romanian deadlift, and I repeat this superset for 4 times. After this, because my main exercise of the superset was targeting not only my glutes but as well my hamstrings, so the Romanian deadlift was the most voluminous exercise of the 2 of the superset, not only because of the weight but as well because of the high reps, which means that then I like to exhaust that muscle and go straight into a sort of leg curl that really again targets the hamstrings, exhausts it, and really ensures that I don't have any more energy left out of the session. So here I couldn't film me doing it this morning just because there were young girls around and I didn't want to put them on the internet, but I just took it from a other session where I was literally doing the same exercise. As you can see, I'm doing a line leg curl, and this is because it focuses on the lowering of the weight. So the resistance that your hamstrings go through is when you extend your leg as opposed to when you contract, which is what you do on a normal leg curl machine. So here, because you're lying down, the exhaustion comes from stretching the leg as opposed to curling it up. And as well, because you are having a weight on your feet, of course there is some resistance when you contract your leg. So it sort of targets both movements in both directions. And here I will do 15 reps with a sort of medium weight that still makes it hard but not too hard that you are losing your form. And the only thing I would very much suggest that you do is to ensure that you don't sort of lift your bum up when you contract, that your hips and that your lower tummy stays against the bench, and that will ensure that you will contract the muscle properly, that you won't overcompensate with other muscles, that you won't strain your lower back, and that overall the movement is as smooth and as correct as possible. And once again, I will do this 15 reps leg curls for 4 sets. After our lying leg curls, we have a last exercise, which is usually a variation of a weighted squat. Now I use a dumbbell because not only I don't want to repeat myself just going up with the barbell and do normal squats, but as well because the center of gravity when it's lowered down is completely different than when you have a barbell on your shoulder. It makes the movement be more focused on the contraction of your glutes, and also it makes the movement be a little bit of a shock for your system, a shock for your body, because if you're used to just doing squats with a high barbell, then your body is used to executing the squat movement with a specific center of gravity of your body, with a specific line in mind. Whereas if you hold the weight down and you change the center of gravity, you change the balance, then your body will use and engage the muscle in a different manner, and it will be much more efficient if you do this in addition to a normal traditional barbell squat. So here again, to change it, to shock my body a little bit and to ensure that I have no more energy left, I do a double pulse at the bottom, which really engages the glutes because they sort of want to go all the way up, but they're stopped before being able to do that. And I like to do this for 15 to 20 reps depending on how tired I am, or depending how well I can perform the exercise without compromising my form. And I will again repeat this for 4 sets. So yes, this was my super intense lower body session that I did this morning with a specific emphasis on hip thrusts, and it's something that really made me go really hard. It was really exhausting, but at the same time I'm sure that my form was correct, that I wasn't working myself, that I wasn't compensating with other muscles that had nothing to do with the exercises I was doing, just because I couldn't execute the reps properly. So it's a fine balance between pushing yourself and really go hard and do loads of volume, but as well ensuring that whatever you do, it's safe, it's done properly, and that you're not taking shortcuts by compensating with your back or with your quads or whichever other muscle that might sort of jump in and not allow you to really contract with your glutes or your hamstrings. So yeah, this was a very intense session, but I really loved it, so I really hope that you like it as well. I hope that my tips of how to intensify a session were clear and that you can actually apply to anything else, whether it's an upper body day, whether you're doing your core, whether you're doing maybe a squat or deadlift focus day, whatever it is. My tips of, you know, doing the main exercise with high volume in terms of weight first, then go for a superset, then doing a exercise that really targets the muscles that was most targeted in the superset, and then finishing with a nice modification of a compound movement. This is sort of the strategy that I like to use whenever I plan my sessions, whenever I choose a different workout for the day, or even if I work out at home. And yeah, it's what really makes me enjoy my sessions. So if you try, then please let me know. If you would like me to bring you along to the gym and show you other workouts targeting other muscles, then please let me know in the comment section below, because I would really like to know. And yeah, I hope you like it. If you did, then please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you next time. Ciao!
Yo.